Hi, welcome to Studio Viv. I'm Viv, and one of my favorite genres of photography is macro photography. So today we're going to be taking a look at what exactly macro photography is, the gear you'll need, and some more helpful tips that will get you started in your macro journey. Also, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel for more photo and video content. So first things first, a quick explanation of what exactly macro photography is. Macro photography focuses on close-up shots of small things. Bugs and flowers are pretty common subjects in macro shooting, but you can also have fun with other things. For example, here's some crystals, some coral, deer teeth even. I mean, really whatever you can think of that's small. And the beauty of it is because there are so many small things, it allows for a lot of creative freedom. So now that you know what macro photography is, you need to make sure you have the right gear. So for gear, you can pretty much use whatever camera you're comfortable with. Full frame helps, but it's not absolutely necessary, and some people even use cameras with smaller sensors for more magnification. But it does affect the quality of it at least a little, and it might have some cropping. It's also a good idea to invest in a macro lens. And you might be asking, why can't I just use a normal lens? Well, there's one really big difference between regular lenses and macro lenses. Other lenses are still good for everyday photography and can shoot a wide range of subjects, but one thing they lack is the ability to get close to certain subjects. Think of it like when you hold your finger too close to your eyes and you can't focus on it anymore. That's where macro lenses come in. They can get way closer to small subjects. I mean, I was shocked when I first started using one after trying to do macro photography on a 50mm prime lens. It was doable, but some of these shots were a struggle. And I also have a full review on my channel about my favorite macro lens, so once you're done watching this video, go check that one out. You might also find a tripod really useful because in macro photography, you'll usually need a slower shutter speed to raise the exposure, and as you know, slower shutter speed means more motion blur, so a tripod will get rid of any motion blur that your hands would cause. And another super important aspect of macro photography is lighting. So good lighting is key to capturing great macro photos. Because you're shooting small stuff so close, you're going to need to raise the aperture a ton to get the whole thing in focus, and that makes your picture super underexposed, so you'll need a flash. Flashes are pretty much a must in macro photography. You'll often end up working with a shallow depth of field where only a small part of your subject is in focus. By adding light with a flash, you can increase the depth of field to make sure your entire subject is in focus. You also might want a diffuser in your flash because as much as the flash produces a lot of light, the light coming from it can be harsh and produce really strong shadows, which can detract from the detail and texture of your macro subjects. A diffuser helps to soften the light and reduce the shadows, creating more even, natural lighting. So next we have focus. Focus is critical in macro photography because even a small misfocus can result in a completely blurry image. But getting something that small in focus can be a challenge, so here's a couple things to keep in mind. Using manual focus will usually result in a sharper image because some cameras' autofocus can't focus on things that small. Another thing that's helpful to get a clear image is a fun little trick called focus stacking. Focus stacking is a technique that uses multiple photos of the same subject, just focused in different areas of the photo. Then in an editing software, you put them together to create a fully focused subject. And as goes for all photography, be aware of your aperture. For macro photography, you should stick with a higher aperture like f/16 to keep the whole thing in focus. And finally, patience. I know it sounds stupid, but there are several aspects of macro photography that require patience. First of all, finding your subject can take a while if you're shooting something that's alive. It might not always present itself to you like, yes, I'm here, please take pictures of me. And that can be really frustrating. Then once you find your subject, there's the process of waiting for it to stay in one spot for 2 seconds. And then there can also be the process of setting up your tripod, setting up your camera on the tripod, attaching your flashes, and waiting for the weather to be right. But when you're feeling frustrated, remember that the shot will be well worth the effort. By taking the time to set up your shot and get a good composition, you are ensuring that your shot ends up the way you want it to. So next time you go out and want to try macro photography, you can remember these 4 things. Have the right gear with you, have the right lighting tools, remember to properly focus both with your camera and yourself, and have patience. Also, please be sure to let me know in the comments what's the biggest thing you learned from this video. It can be anything from learning that you need a tripod or learning about focus stacking, whatever it may have been. Please be sure to let me know in the comments. And if you liked the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. And here's another video you might enjoy. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Go make some awesome content, and I'll see you in the next one.